Good morning, friends. Happy January 14th. This is Katie Carney, and this is my Flosstube number 95. So this is Katie Stitching, and welcome. Thank you to everyone who watched my whip parade. I'm actually adding what I'm not going to call whips today. You shall see. I hope you've had a pleasant first 2 weeks of the new year. Our weather here has been very strange. I actually have to, when I finish filming, I have to make my bed, and then I'm heading to New Jersey. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow with my cardiologist, just my normal 3-month appointment. But I was supposed to stay with my uncle. They offer every time, and I'm always like, nah, I'll drive down. It's fine. I leave at like 4:30. It's great in the morning. It's very early. And I was like, it's gonna be January. I'll say yes this time. And they were so excited, and I was gonna stay over today, and they were like, you'll come for dinner. It'll be great. Blah blah blah. And then on Christmas, they were like, so about that, we already have plans because it's Martin Luther King weekend, which I didn't know. I've never had a job where I got that day off, so it's just. I know it's in January, I just don't know the date. So my uncle was like, well, I have points, I'll get you a hotel room. And I was like, absolutely not. But as a carny, I can tell you that you can't tell us anything. So he sent me 2 hotels and said either pick one or I'll pick. So I picked one. And I'm going to go down. I'm going to have a very early lunch or a very late brunch with some friends. And then I'm going to go back down to their house. We're going to watch a movie. And then I'm going to go check into my hotel with my stitching and my tablet. And if I get hungry, I'm going to order. The hotel has a restaurant. I'm going to order dinner. And if I don't get hungry, I'm not. I am going to refuse the scale tomorrow at the cardiologist's office. And I'm just going to have a good day. It'll be nice. Usually I get up around a little after 4 to go to the cardiologist, and I'll be able to sleep until probably 5:45, 5:30. I get up at 5:30. My alarm is set for 5:45. I get up sometime between 4:30 and 5:30. So I'll be able to get up at my normal time. I might even be able to have a cup of coffee and stitch in the morning, which is what I do here. I stitch until 6:20. I think the hospital's like 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. So as long as I leave by like 6:30, I'm going to bring a Tupperware container. I'm going to grab some breakfast on my way out of the hotel and bring it with me. It's going to be great. Everything's going to be great. I'm not getting on the scale though. Anyway, I know you guys probably don't care about that at all. But again, I wanted to take time to thank you all for the lovely, lovely comments on my whip parade and all the prayers. Things have not changed, but they've changed a little bit, but they've not gotten worse. And you just keep on. Life is complicated, and that's okay. Anyway, I have my first finish of the year. So that's good. I think I told you all that I'm doing this is in my lovely project folder from Stephanie from Will Stitch for Coffee. And I used the DMC conversion. It's 3 different colors of blue. I guess I should show you what the project is. It is January Quaker by From the Heart Needle Arts. From the Heart Needle Art by Wendy. So this is January. And I did not have any of the fancy floss, so I used the DMC. And also, this floss drop and this floss drop are from my friend brought me back from Eastern Europe to wool, a babushka, and then a scarf. So I thought the tags were so pretty that I made floss drops out of them. Anyway, this is my bag for these projects this year. So here's my first finish. I am using 18 count natural looking Aida. That is the hardest Aida ever, but I could get it at Michael's and it was like $10 for a big thing of it. So anyway, this is the first one. It's really, I love it. Very, very, very pretty. The color, it's kind of washed out. They're a little more vibrant in person. But the sun just went behind the clouds because we're getting a snow squall right now. Can't wait to drive to Jersey. Anyway, that was a close-up of my face. So I have this box, and this will fit perfectly. Probably not this week, but maybe this week. I'm going to go to Hobby Lobby and ask them to cut me 12 pieces of mat board that will fit in here. And I will lace them myself. And based on how long it took me, it was probably about 8 or 10 days of like maybe an hour a day of stitching. It didn't take long. This right here, that took 3 days. That took forever. But really, it's not hard because they're just little motifs. Also, I got something on it right there when I was ironing it. I don't know if there was hot glue or something on my ironing pad, but you never would have noticed if I wouldn't have pointed it out to you. Anyway, this took days, but I am happy to announce that there are no mistakes in this. Thank God for Pattern Keeper, because that's the only reason why. Okay, so then I think I had showed you last time and told you that I was going to be working on the Prayer of St. Francis, which, hang on, I have the picture somewhere. Hold, please. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is the Prayer of St. Francis. It's a very small picture. That's what it came with, by My Big Toe Designs. I am doing mine monochromatic in a purple DMC, and let me take the needle minder off. This is the DMC color I'm using. It's really pretty. I'm making this for my grandmother. And I had planned to only work on this for a couple days, but then I decided to focus on this piece. Her birthday is in April and Mother's Day is in May. So my hope is to finish this for one of those, and my brother is going to go in on the framing with me. So here's what I have done so far. The last time you saw it, I had this line here done, and maybe I had started these flowers. And so I did the next line of words. I'm going to work on this in the hotel tonight. So there's 2 more lines of words before the next bit of flowers. So my plan is to, tonight when I start working on this, to work on it until I get those 2 lines of words done and the row of just plain stitching, which I can do that at work, which is on my lunch at work. I don't stitch at work. So my plan is to do the next 2 lines of words and the straight across lines and then put it away for a week or so. I have not worked on this since Tuesday or Wednesday, or was Thursday maybe. When I finished, I did this line on my lunches at work during the week, and then I really focused on January Quaker. I wanted to get it done. So the letters really don't take me long, like a day or 2 at the most for a row. So we'll see what I get done tonight. Because like I said, I'm going to bring that with me. It's perfect hotel stitching because I'm going to bring a hoop, but I can just hold the hoop. It's going to be great. My next project is a knitting project. And I'm doing this for a friend. She bought this yarn a couple years ago and she said, could you make me a hat, a scarf, and gloves? And I said, no, because you don't have enough yarn for that, but I can make you a cowl and a hat and maybe fingerless gloves. So I told her she had to wait till after Christmas because I had too much Christmas stitching to do. I started the hat. I got about a 1/2 inch in and figured out that when I brought the ends together, I had twisted it, so I had to take that out. It's somewhere over there in a ball. So I was annoyed and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to work on the cowl. Part of the problem is these are a really old pair of very cheap needles from like Michael's or Joann's. And the cord is really hard and it's really twisted. The needles are in rough shape. So yesterday I took Fra to see The Boys in the Boat, the movie, which So that book, it's based on a book, and I read the book probably 10 years ago now. Wow, 10 years-ish? 8, 9. I read it after my open heart. I think my brother, after my open heart, moved down to Chambersburg, and I went to visit him overnight, and that's when I started the book. I had never really done Audible, but I had a free credit, and I was like, I'm going to listen to a book for the 3-hour drive in the car. And I was hooked. It was the best. It was read by the grandfather from Gilmore Girls. So he has a very soothing voice. And is one of the only characters I like on Gilmore Girls, because I think Lorelai and Rory are hateful human beings. But anyway, that doesn't matter. It's excellent. And then I have read the physical book, and I have listened to the audio book again. It is excellent. I cannot recommend The Boys in the Boat enough. It is about the 1936 United States Olympic rowing team. It really does a beautiful job of weaving in what's going on in Nazi Germany, because the 1936 Olympics were, of course, in Nazi Germany. And about what they were doing with media. It's fascinating. Very good. Highly recommend. Makes you cry. Makes you want to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and deal with your life. Love it. So I took Fra to see that movie yesterday because I've made a lot of people read that book. And it came out on Christmas, and I haven't had time to go. And yesterday I was like, let's go to the movies. So I knit in the movies, and I started this cowl with the yarn that I hate for my friend, which is Loops and Threads Cozy Wool Tweed. I don't think there's any wool in it, but I could be wrong. Let's see. Doesn't say. Limited time only. Color ice blue. Hand wash. Do not bleach. Dry flat. Do not iron. Oh, here we go. 66% polyester, 30% acrylic, and get ready for it, 4% wool. I hate this yarn. It is so fuzzy. It gets in my nose and makes me sneeze. Mohair is not my thing. And it's like, it sticks together, and then you get knots, and I hate it. But that's okay. So I started the cowl during the movie. And that's what I got done during the movie. I'm doing a very simple pattern, as you could see based on the picture. And then originally I was going to do a cable knit hat, but I think I'm going to do this pattern in the hat, but follow the cable hat cast on and stuff. So this is what I'm currently knitting. I obviously got several inches done during the movie yesterday. I'm going to bring this with me. My friends who I'm going for lunch with, they want to go back to their house and watch a movie. And I'll bring the knitting. I knit during movies, obviously, and it's easier to knit when I'm visiting with people than to cross stitch. And they have cats. So better with fur yarn than my cross stitch. I really don't want cat hair in that. I'm allergic to cats. I was with a cat yesterday, and last night my eye was quite red. So hopefully I don't have an allergy attack while I'm at their house. Okay, I have one more whip, and then I have some stitching that has been passed on to me that I'm not calling haul, and I'm not calling my whips, but you'll see. Anyway, I was going to work on Firefly Fairies by Lavender and Lace, and I pulled it out when I was taking a break from the Prayer of St. Francis, and I remembered that I had put it away because I don't have any of the Krynic, and there's so much Krynic in there that you really need to work on it. Like, you can't leave it blank and go back. So over the next couple months, I have to figure out what I'm going to do for the metallic threads for that, or I'm going to have to UFO it. Now, I've always wanted to do that piece, so I don't want to do that. So I just have to take the time. And then I thought to myself, well, I should work on a lavender and lace anyway. I have several lavender and lace whips. And my oldest whip, since I finished Celtic Autumn, is Christmas Spirit. So I pulled this out. I'm using a 32 count natural linen and the called for DMC. I am not using the Krynic for the gold. I am using Diamant or whatever it is from, or maybe it's a gold. It's in the bag. It's either the gold that they've always carried from DMC or it's the diamante. I don't know. Here are the DMC colors. They look like they've been through the war. That's because they've been for 3 years now in and out of a bag. And let me move my stitch markers so that you can actually see the project and you'll be able to see what I've gotten done. I picked this up, I got maybe 20 stitches in on Friday, and then I worked on it yesterday. So the last time you saw it, I had the hair or the hat done from Santa, and I have started his face and his beard. There you go. Ooh, that is washing out. Hang on, let's see if I can help that. Well, let me take the stitch markers off so that it's easier for me to hold. And then, sorry, professional here. Professional grade Flosstube. Aren't you all lucky? Okay. That's better. So I worked on Santa's head. Nope, that's not better. It was better briefly. There we go. So I've been working on Santa's head. You can see his nose and his cheeks and his beard. So I picked it up and I started over here so I could go off the tassel on his hat. Figured out that I didn't have one of the colors, believe it or not. I have to go see if I have it in stash. So I'm going to continue on with the white on the beard. So my goal for this is going to be to get through this section, this white section here, and maybe down here, we'll see. And then the next time I pick it up, I'll pick up the red. I think, so this is my oldest whip now. I'm going to focus on Prayer of St. Francis, which is a great focus because it's not hard. And then when that's completed, for the rest of the year, this will be my focus. And then I'll just be switching in and out pieces from my whips or new starts, because I do have a couple new starts planned. When Prayer of St. Francis is done, I'm going to start the Lord of the Rings piece from Modern Folk Embroidery that I have the fabric dyed for already and the floss purchased. And then I think when this is done, I'm going to start a Dimensions or a Janlin Santa kit, kind of like filling a hole in my current whips. But then, because I have no chill, have you seen the Fabulous Houses? The first one was like a Santa house. The second one was a castle. And I was like, oh, I kind of, the Santa one, I was like, oh, I kind of like that a lot. And then I saw the castle and I was like, whoa. And I don't even know who they're by, but thought about it. And I was like, if I can find someone who's doing like a monthly order, I'll get them. And I did. So I have December and January coming. This is from the person who did the big beautiful animals, like the winter one, like the 4 seasons of animals that people were doing a couple years ago. These are just Fabulous Houses, and I was kind of on the fence, and then I saw that June was a Hobbit house. I had to get it. So even though I'm not supposed to be spending any money, I ordered those, and then somebody on Stash Unload had a big enough piece of gray, like Zweigart 40 count fabric, and it calls for gray fox and rabbit, and of course the piece of gray fox and rabbit I bought was 32 count, so it won't be enough. I bought a giant piece of fabric from them. It was so expensive. I bought it at the retreat and it's not big enough, of course, so that's fine. Those will be coming in. The shop owner is from Maine, and they didn't have power because of all the wind we've been having in the Northeast. We've been having like 55-mile-an-hour wind gusts here. I keep waiting for my house to just tip over, but it hasn't yet. Praise God. So, I'm going to start those right away. So then, I have some plans, of course. My friend Jen, she has been going through her whips slowly but surely, one of which, hold on, I just dropped it. Oh, I can't reach it. Hang on. Of course, not only did I drop it, I dropped it on the heater, so I had to get it right away. Anyway, she sent me a box of some. She let me pick, but some whips that she's abandoning. These are all Priscilla and Chelsea. What's their stuff called? Whatever. Their stuff. I've never purchased any of their stuff. She had started a lot of it and sent me a bunch to start. So I don't want to add like 10 or 12 more whips to my whip list. I'm not adding these to my whip list. They're already started. My plan is to finish them. So I haven't even opened all the bags, but I just picked the top bag, and there's 2 projects in it. And whenever I finish the small that I'm working on downstairs, these are all small, medium projects, I will pick up whatever's next from Priscilla and Chelsea, stitch it till I'm finished. Don't know what I'm going to do with them. Probably make them into pillows. Maybe some of them will be gifts. I don't know. But anyway, she sent me all the floss, and it's fancy floss. Look at me. So the first 2 in a bag were Winter Wonderland Farm Big and Small. She started them in 2019. She's very organized, much more organized than I am. So I'm assuming this is the small. And that this, obviously, is the big. I'll probably do this one first. So now this will be my downstairs stitching with Fra until they're done. And then when they're done, when at least one of them, maybe both, it'll depend on how much stitching there is. When 1 or 2 of them are done, I will pick up my February Quaker. Just because I don't want to add a gajillion whips to my whip list. And I figure if I just work on these and get them done, I don't have to add them to my whips. So then she also sent me Jolly St. Nicholas and Rudolph. Again, with all the fancy floss. This one's a slightly smaller start. And I don't know, I've never seen it. I have to pull up the pictures of these, but that's what she has started. I think that's the way it goes. I'll find out. And my plan is to just pick a bag. I don't have any, great, I'm just going to pick one. So the first one's the Winter Wonderlands there first. This is Jack-O-Lantern Junction, big and small. I loved this one. I jumped on it. I'm assuming this is the small, and it is a small start, which is fine. And I'm assuming this is the big, and it's a much bigger start. Wow. I'm assuming that's almost done. She's an incredible stitcher. And I just checked because I had been kind of worried that I didn't know if we did our X's the same way we do. Yay, Jen, we can switch stitching. Let's not lose these, or I won't know what they are. Because here's jolly old St. Nicholas just sitting here. Let's put that back. All right. Next is Autumn Acres Farm Small. So there's a small start on that. Beautiful. Her stitching is beautiful. My stitching is not that beautiful. She has a lot more practice than I do. She stitches more in a day than I do in a week. All right, and then this one is Let It Snow Bungalow, big and small. And I think this one is definitely almost done. And then that one, it looks like it's a nice little start on there. So then she sent me one more whip, and this is one she had been planning to send me for a couple years, so I knew it was coming. And it is all bobbinated. I'll have to send this back to her. This beautiful little kit here. Put all the DMCs on bobbins here. And this is a tree skirt with snowmen. So let me back up to show you. This I will add as a whip. I don't know when I'm going to work on it. So she's got 1, 2, 3 snowmen on there. 2 of them I think are done. And then this one over here, that'll be the one I work on. So she was able to, she converted this chart into Pattern Keeper, and she was, God bless her, able to send me the progress that she had done. So I added it into my Pattern Keeper, and that'll make it much, much easier. So like I said, my plan is not for that, but for the other small ones is to do a small and pick one of those up. Do a small, pick one of those up. She also sent me in the box a fabulous, she loves frogs. So she went to a place on her latest cruise that was called Senor Frogs. And she got me this fun t-shirt. That was in the box. And then she sent me the Sambry mini retreat box, which was so sweet of her. So it came with this beautiful pouch. If you got this box and didn't open it yet, I have no idea when it came out. Pause this. It came with some notions to add to your pillows and some stickers and a fun pair of scissors. Came with the fabric, which is a Bestitch Me Cold Foam 18 count, and the floss, which is DMC, yes. You get to pick. It's called Best Friends Stitchy Friends. There's a human version or a Bigfoot version. Might have to send that to Vanna. She loves Bigfoot. I'm going to do the human version, and I'm going to change the hair colors and maybe the skin colors to look more like Jen and I, since she sent it to me. And then this cute little winter pillow pattern. And then these were not in the box. Jen just sent those, so I'll show you those in a second. It came with this fun bag. I think this came with it. This is called Witch Village. You can either stitch or embroider. It turns into a pillow. The frame for the cross stitch piece. A whip work card, which I love that for like big projects. A Best Stitchy Friends journal. A thread bed to match the bag. Some floss drops. And then to match the bag also a scissor fob, which I'll put on the scissors. And then Jen threw in some patterns. So I love this embroidery pattern. Look at how beautiful that is. Someday I'm going to learn how to embroider. This is like embroidered with fabric. And I have lots of fabric, so that'd be fun. Another embroidery pattern. A book bag. And then lovebirds. So it was a very fun package to get. Thank you, Jen. She also sent me some needles. The most important ones being, I have become, because of her, a little obsessed with, where are they? Well, maybe I already put them away. They're these tiny little black needles. And I love them. I must have already put them away. They're like this big, and they have like a silicone-y coating on the outside. I really, really like them. So she sent me a pack of those. I have to PayPal her. Somebody remind me. So anyway, it was a fun box to receive, although when I got it, there was like a hole in it like this with packing tape over it, and I sent her a message. I said, "Did you send me a box with a hole?" To which she said, "No, I certainly did not." And it turns out that when they were scanning the box at some point, they got a hole in it. So funny. Anyway, I think that's all I have to show you this week. I hope to see you in 2 weeks with some more progress on Prayer of St. Francis. Maybe one of those Stitching with the Housewives, that's their name. Stitching with the Housewives projects done. Maybe some more organization done, and hopefully a good report from the cardiologist. Anyway, I hope that you're all well. It was so good to catch up with you. Again, thank you for all your likes and comments. Please know I read them all if I don't get to comment back, and that I'm very grateful for all of you. I'll talk to you soon. Stay safe.